We're back. This is Marketing on a Shoestring Budget. We appreciate you taking some time to join us today. Cashin Yu, the Program Support Specialist at the Community Action Partnership, who is stepping in for Linda Hembry today. So if you need to get in contact with me with technical questions, then do find Linda Hembry, even though I am, in fact, Cashin Yu. You are probably most aware of Stacy Flowers, our CED Director. And this way is actually to provide a formative way to apply marketing to both your program management and to your role organization level. Becky will discuss how to develop a marketing plan, the do's and don'ts of advertising, customer service for growth and retention, effective marketing channels to promote the project, program, or business, and using social media as a customer engagement tool and for marketing research. Starts off for today, a couple of little bookkeeping notes. The ND lines are muted for recording and it helps get the background noise a little bit. Questions can be asked at any point in time by using the Q&A tab on the right side panel or the chat feature. We ask that you send questions to all panelists or to panelists and hosts so that both I and Becky can see them to make sure that we get all the questions answered. We will be answering them at the end. There's about an hour or so of content, and then we'll do 15 minutes for any kind of questions and feedback. You should be able to see Becky's video in the corner and hear my audio. Please do send chat messages during the webinar for any technical help. There is a recording, will be available after the webinar. You will get that in a follow-up. I would like to go ahead and introduce Becky, who is our speaker for the day. She is the Senior Training Manager for People Incorporated Financial Services. Ms. Nave is a graduate of King College with a Bachelor of Business Administration. She is a Certified Credit Counselor and a Licensed Coaching Facilitator for Corporate Coach U. She is a grad lead Bristol with a certification in leadership development. Among duties are teaching business basics, credit building, customer service, leadership, social and core 4 business planning classes, as well as providing business, financial, and development services to clients in Southwest Virginia and the Northern Shenandoah Valley. These workshops have served to stimulate entrepreneurship, publicize, and provide opportunities for business to network. Ms. Nate is instrumental in beginning the Entrepreneurship for Youth program in Washington County and the city of Bristol. So with that, Becky, I think we're ready for you to take it away.
Okay, great. I hope everyone can see me. I'm not sure about this webcam. I wish I could learn how you could trim, inches off your face and things when you do these webinars. That would be nice. But thank you for taking time out today to attend this webinar on marketing. I think it's really important, especially for us as nonprofit agencies, to figure a way to market effectively. And a lot of times we are working on a shoestring budget. So as Cashin said, we offer marketing workshops to help our entrepreneurs that we work with in our community on marketing, because a lot of times they think they need to go buy an expensive ad in the paper or, buy a TV commercial, and don't really realize there's a lot of effective ways to market without having to spend all the money. So hopefully today you'll take away some of those ideas that we have found to be effective and we use every day here at People Inc. because we don't have a big nest egg, unfortunately, to spend on marketing. Some of you say that we do not, unfortunately. So we've had to find ways, especially where I teach several different workshops and I cover about 28 counties in Virginia. It's very hard for me to get the word across to everyone at our workshops without buying an ad or, paying some way to get that message across. So I finally came up and just said, we've got to sit down and figure out some ways to do this. And, it's been very effective. The ways that we have been marketing, we have found to be very effective. So we go through today, as Cashin said, if you have questions, I wish I could see you all and you could raise your hand and ask me, but please write in, and we'll be happy to hope to get all of those answered. And we'll also take questions at the end if you have any. That would be great. And I see a hand up now. Let's see. If I answer, let's see if we can get it up there. I see that, but I'm not quite sure how to open up the floor.
It looks like maybe Marnie may have called in separately, so therefore I cannot figure out which line to unmute.
Okay.
So if you will go ahead and put your comment into the chat feature.
Right. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started and talk about, kind of go over our agenda for today. We only have an hour or so, and I'll tell you, I could talk about marketing for all day, but I promise I won't keep you here all day. It's such a wide, a big topic and areas to cover, so we're going to cover as many as we can in the time that we have. So we're going to give our marketing overview. We're going to talk about success planning, how to plan for marketing, electronic marketing, as well as advertising do's and don'ts, and hopefully you'll take something away from that. We're also going to talk about PR and community involvement. A lot of you all probably already work a lot with volunteers in your agencies, and we have found that to be effective, as well as us volunteering for other organizations. Customer service. Customer service is more important today than ever, because now it's like word of mouth on steroids with social media. We have the smartphones, we all have computer, internet, there's Facebook, there's lots of things that people could go out and talk negatively about us and positively. So we want to make sure that our customer service is excellent at all times. And at the end, we'll talk, we'll take more questions as time goes on. I wish I could see your hands right now, but who has a ton of money for advertising and promotion? I have a feeling there's probably not a lot of hands going up. When I do this in person, a lot of times I'll have 2 or 3 jokingly say, yeah, I've got a lot of money, yeah, but a lot of times we do not. So we have to figure out a way, if we can't buy marketing, how we can do it effectively. So what are we going to do? How do we compete? How do we get the word out to our clients about our services? And that's going to keep them coming to us instead of going somewhere else. A lot of times in the business we're in, we're the only option for people. So they will end up coming because we're the only ones that offer that service. But there's always room for other people to come in to that market. So you've got to make sure that people are aware that you're here, and you keep them and keep them as your client and keep them happy. Statistics I want to throw out to you all that you may not realize is 79% of adult Americans use the internet. That is huge. So right there tells me, well, 79% of Americans are using the internet, and you know what? Maybe we should be on the internet. Maybe we should have a website. Maybe we should have a Facebook presence. What other ways can we market on the internet? 78% of internet users conduct research online. So you want to make sure if someone's looking for your business, for the type of products or services that you offer, that you're out there, because people are going to search it. I don't know about you all, but just about any question I have, it doesn't matter what it is, I will Google it, and you can even Google what's the best way I can market my service, or what, there's all kinds of things. Any question I have, I usually Google it. I was trying to figure out how to reprogram my remote, because my dog ate my remote to my TV. Well, the kid said she didn't eat it, but it sure had big teeth marks in it, so I'm pretty sure the kids didn't put those teeth marks in there. So I was trying to figure out how to reprogram the new remote, and I Googled how to program this remote, and put in a brand and all that, and it came up and showed me. So just about anything I do, I will research it online, and 78% internet users are the same way, and you all are probably the same way. So economy is making it harder and harder for us to find clients and for clients to make it to us. Because we're not able to always run those ads in the paper, or find out the effective ways to find these people. So we figure out what we're going to do. So where do we start? Do we start with internet? Do we start with going to local chamber meetings and talking any chance we have? Some of the effective ways that we have found. Any community event going on, and like I said, we cover a large part, a large number of counties that don't have all the same news channels, don't have all the same newspapers. Like, well, how can we be effective in that community? So what we started doing is, as part of my job, and I do the marketing for the Community Economic Development Department here at People Inc. And I started attending every Chamber of Commerce. I've joined every Chamber of Commerce. I attend most of their meetings, and if I can't, we have a representative there that will attend most of the meetings there. And most chambers that we are working with will say, we'll give you 1 minute to give your elevator pitch, or whatever. That way, you have time to network, and people start finding out about you and what you do. A lot of times, if I say I'm with People Incorporated and never heard our name, or never heard anything about us, they're like, what do you do? That name, what do you do? And I said, well, we're people helping people. What can we do to help you? And we're about helping people. But a lot of times, your all's names of your agencies or places of business may be the same way. You don't have a name that people are like, well, what exactly do they do? And you'd really be surprised, and it's sad that around here, we even have people who do not know what community action agencies. They'll think, well, they're for housing, or they're only there for Head Start, whatever the main program is that you have. And a lot of times, people will, when I'm out speaking at a Chamber of Commerce meeting, or maybe several of the Chamber of Commerces also have these little branch-off committees that have, like, Small Business Development Committee, and I'm a part of those. They're like, well, we're surprised you're part of this, just being a Head Start place. And, well, we have, around 40 programs. It's not just about Head Start. We have a number of programs, and that's why I'm here. So that has been another way, because a lot of times you have your movers and your shakers of each community in chamber meetings. So that's another way that I have been able to reach out to people. Once you get into, okay, so we start there. Now I want you to ask yourself, what's your mission? Do you know what the mission is? That's your agency. So you've got to figure that out if you don't know. And you'd be surprised, we have a customer service class here that we make all of our employees go through at People Inc. And that's one of the first questions. It's a new employee orientation. And I will ask them, I will say, okay, how many of you all can tell me what the mission is of our agency? And it's really sad how many do not know that. It's really sad. And so you should be able to tell us what your mission is. So make sure that you know that for your business or for your agency. Make sure you know who your clients are. Are your clients only families with small children? Us in the community economic development, we work with a lot of small business. We work with entrepreneurs. And we work with a lot of the economic developers in our counties. We have a number of people that fall under that client. But you've got to really figure out and dig deep and figure out who your client And what's your marketing plan? Do you have a marketing plan in place? Marketing plan where most we are limited on funding and budgets and or funding our budgets. We have to really be creative with our marketing plan. We do have a marketing plan in place, but sometimes it's really tough to go, okay, this is our marketing plan, but I'm not sure that we can do this. We don't have the funding to do this. So you have to figure out how you can do that. And how do you evaluate what's working and what's not? We offer a lot of different programs at our agency. We offer a lot of different classes and workshops and programs just under our community economic development umbrella. So I have to be really cautious and figure out what's working and what's not. Am I promoting one program, way too much, and maybe we're not getting as many business loan applications in as we should? And am I not reaching the entrepreneurs that I need to? So you have to evaluate your effectiveness. That's as simple as surveys. You could do a survey for one. Ask, and ask your clients when they come to you, how did you hear about us? Who told you? If they were not referred, by a social services or maybe the city or county you're in, ask them how they found out about you. Because it's music to my ears when we ask that question and someone will say, well, someone was at a chamber meeting you were at, or someone was at a local club that you spoke at last week and heard about this product or services that you offered. So that's wonderful when I hear that, because we know that's working. That's one of the only ways you can figure it out. So once you figure out your clients that you need to reach, you got to start planning and building that marketing plan. How are you going to reach these clients that you need to find? And we still have many, I run across probably once a month that will ask me, they've never heard of People Incorporated. They didn't know we were here. They were like, are you new? Well, we've been around about 48 years. We're a little new, I guess. And as far as our department in the community economic development, we just had our 20th anniversary this year. And, we do not live in a large community here. So you would think everyone would know about us, but unfortunately they don't. Let's talk about developing your marketing plan and how you're going to do that. One, what are you trying to accomplish? That's a question you need to ask when you're writing it. We're going to figure out who your target audience is. What's the message you want to get across? And I threw this in here. What vehicles do you have to deliver the message? We actually have several of our vehicles that have a People Incorporated magnetic sign on the side. That's an inexpensive way to keep your name out there in front of people, so they'll actually see it. And as well as, of course, our Head Start, their school buses have People Incorporated Head Start on them. And I think that's a lot of times why a lot of people in our community only think People Inc. is a Head Start at times. And harder for me to try to figure out how to get that message across that we offer a number of programs. What are your resources? Resources do you have that you and this could be even down to partners. We partner with everybody we can when we're offering a workshop, when we're putting on some type of, maybe it could be a breakfast where we're inviting local bankers or local leaders to come and hear what we do. We really work on using our resources. And for example, if you're wondering what resources we may use, for instance, for our workshops, we partner a lot of times with Virginia Department of Business Assistance. We partner with the Small Business Development Centers. We partner with SCORE. We partner with the chamber of that county we're offering the workshop in. Like I said, we have a lot of counties that we work with, so we develop that relationship with these people in these communities to help partner. It could be the town, it could be the city, whoever, to help us. It could be their Main Street program. Well, several Main Street programs right now that's asked us to come on board and partner with them and help them promote their Main Street. And the way we're doing that is by offering workshops, and of course we also have the loan funds where we can do the small business loans. But that really helps. You have people like that that want to be partners. That's very helpful. To give you another idea, some of our other partners, Virginia Tourism. We're real close with the folks at Virginia Tourism in our area as well, and sometimes we offer workshops in partnership with all three of us. And what the beauty of it is we all have different contact lists. We all have different emails. We all have different people we can contact. So we have found this has helped fill our workshops. Usually they're filled to capacity, and that's phenomenal because I'll tell you, I've had workshops that I've offered before, or we've had a seminar on something, and I've had 0 people show up, or may have 1 or 2 register. And I'm like, wonder what the deal is. But I have found now that I've really started concentrating on marketing our programs, they're usually filled, and that's a wonderful thing that people are finding out about us. And then again, how will you measure your performance and success? Well, like you could do that as easy as a survey. We've even done online surveys before and sent it out to everyone we know as far as surveys and what services they use of ours. So we offer a survey at the end, or actually it's an evaluation for our performance at the end of our workshops, and that's also very helpful because we're like, if there's some type of niche out there that we're not hitting, and it's important that we listen. We listen to our clients. If you will listen to your clients, you'll learn a whole lot about yourself, about what the feeling is about the agency, and what people are saying, because that's very important. So, potential customers to call you, visit your website, become a fan on your Facebook page. And we're going to talk a lot more about social media and how you can hopefully be a part of that and start building that brand awareness. The brand is not your logo only. It's not name only. It's not me or whoever you affiliate with that program only. It's that gut feeling that someone has about your agency or about your business. When people think of People Incorporated, I don't want them just to think of Head Start. I want them to think of all of our programs, and or that there's many other ways that they can be helped, and know that we're a lot larger than that. And I said educate your audience on your product or service, and it goes back to sometimes when I stand up and speak to a group, I'll say, hey, you all have heard of People Incorporated and, know what services they offer. And I'll have a few hands sometimes go up, and a lot of times they'll just say, oh, yeah, you're at Head Start, or housing. Yes, we're in one of your housing units. Or, we got a small business loan one time, so you must be a small business loan place. But no one really knows our mission. So I start, telling them what our mission is, and ask them, and start telling them about all of our programs that we have, and they're just like, wow, and what you're wanting to accomplish. Do you want to become known as the best? Well, of course you do. You want to be the best at what you do. We want to be the best at what we do. So that's why you've got to make sure too that all your employees are on the same page, and you're all working towards the same mission that you're trying to accomplish. So let's back to who your target audience is. This is an important part of your marketing plan. But you've really got to get down to, okay, your location. What town, county, city? You cover multi-state. And you guys are probably a lot like us, where we have many different programs. And according to each program, different programs cover different areas. As far as our program, the community economic development, we cover, like I said, about 28 counties. Our Head Start may only cover 6 counties, and I don't know that for a fact, but it's a smaller amount. Some of our other programs only may cover the city of Bristol and Washington County in Virginia, 2 areas. So, it's important that if you have multiple departments like we do, that you figure out a marketing plan for each one of those. Put someone that's going to be in charge for that department. And so that's what I do just for our community economic development. Even though I tell everybody about all of our programs, but I'm really promoting what we do in this department. And by interest. Not everybody's going to want a small business loan or want to take our small business classes. But, however, they may want to take our credit counseling. We also do the credit counseling classes. We just recently, due to demand and listening to our entrepreneurs that we work with, so many of them struggle on the internet with learning. They're like, we really want to get our product online. I'm not sure how to do that. And so we started an e-commerce eBay workshop. And with that workshop, they are going to be able to learn how to put their product online and sell it, as well as teaching them about websites that are out there. And we are actually offering that workshop for the first time next Thursday, and it's completely filled. So we're thrilled about that. But that way, you got to go by interest. So listen to your clients, find out what they're needing in your area that you can offer them, and that they just don't know that you have. And then back to the demographic profile. What's your target group? Is it just young families? And some agencies only offer a few programs, and others may offer a lot of programs like we do, and even more than we do. So figure out your target demographic groups that you're going after. It could be just men. It could be you have to be married with children. Some programs require that. So figure out what your demographic profile is. And then once you get it figured out, let's start talking about advertising. Okay? Advertising is very important. Most of you all probably have your logo set, and you saw mine on the beginning of our slide. That's a new one that was created for our 45th anniversary for many, many years, and I should have put a picture up of it. We had another one with, it looked like, and I don't know if any of you all have seen it, it looked like children holding hands in a circle, and they just had a circle head with like a blank in the middle. And the first time my daughter saw it, of course she was little and didn't know, she said, that looks like your logo. She didn't say logo. She said, that looks like your work. She said, the empty-headed people. And I had to laugh. I was like, we're not empty-headed people. But we have a new one now that I really like that has kind of the same idea, but it's new and improved. So we'll look at it again at the end. But think about what's going to work for you. It's the newspaper. Is that your best way for you to advertise? And we'll talk about the importance of press releases. I know that sometimes we do place ads in papers, depending on the community that it's in. Some of our larger cities that we work with, they charge a whole lot just to run a newspaper ad. So we don't usually do that. But some of the smaller communities that we work with, you can buy a newspaper ad for hardly nothing. So you've got to figure out what works best. Also, magazines. There's a number of magazines that will do an article on you if you have the right connections and you figure out what works best and who is looking to do an article on the services you offer. There's also television. And what I say about television is not so much a commercial. I don't know if any of you all do actual commercials on TV. But you all have that local broadcasting channel that usually ours is on Channel 3 here, and it's our cable company. And we'll run any event, any community event on there for free. And you don't know that it's going to get on there for a fact, but all of them that I have sent them to, saying we're having a workshop coming up, or we just received a new loan pool for you to apply for business loans, or whatever it is. Maybe our IDEA program, the funding that we're starting to take people off the waiting list, and it's back up again. The money came in again for that. Whatever it is, you can run that and actually send that, and they will put that on there for free. That doesn't cost anything. And we have found that to be very effective, because a lot of people will flip through the channels and they'll actually keep it on there and just watch for a few minutes and find out what's going on in the community. And that is the radio. I don't know if any of you all have done any advertising on the radio. We never paid for an advertisement on the radio, but we have been fortunate when we've got it's called a Power Talk, and on an AM channel. But what they do is do Good Morning Tri-Cities in our area, and there's also one on up the road that we've done before in Wistful, and one over in Norton. That's just a community local radio station, but they're looking they want to talk about whatever the service is that we're offering. It could be our workshops, they want to promote it. Sometimes when we're talking about businesses and they're trying to stimulate business growth and they're downtown, they'll say, will you come on and talk for 5 minutes with us about services you offer that can help small businesses? And so I'm always excited to do that. And we get asked to do that fairly often. Another idea is for television. We have our local NBC channel here that carries our local news, but it's probably our largest one. They have what they call a noon magazine. At noon, they will talk to a business, an organization, whatever's going on in our community at that time. They'll take about 5 minutes, and you get noontime news to sit and or discuss whatever it is you have going on. And we have found when we offer workshops in that community, they actually have asked us to come and sit in and do what they call, it's called Noon Magazine. And we get to talk to the main news lady there, and she asks us questions, how they can contact us. We get to tell a little bit about our program, and that is absolutely wonderful because we reach so many people that way. And we found when we've done that, our workshops have been completely filled. I mean, they fill up because that reaches a large crowd we do not reach in other ways. These are people that probably wouldn't hear about us through our email or through our community action channel of communication. They're not be on those lists. So it works out great for us to do that as well. The next one is the business card. You all have business cards. If you don't, get you a business card. Your business card is the most economical, cheapest thing you could do. And, just something simple. And you can see my card right here. I go through these cards like crazy. I give them to everybody. I leave them everywhere. One of the things I wanted to show you is you see this card, right? This is actually a business card for my friend at Virginia Tourism. And it was really neat how we all use the front of our cards, okay? We all put our information here on the front. But how do you all use the back? And I know I need to practice what I preach. Also on the back of ours, and I don't know if you all can even see that, is our website address, okay? But you could really use the back of that card, and we are actually redesigning to add some stuff to this card. But I do this workshop a lot of times in partnership with Virginia Tourism and Virginia Department of Business Assistance. And so they came in with their cards with this on the back of it, and I love that. Because that's another way you can have somebody following you on Twitter, liking your Facebook page, looking at your videos on YouTube. It's another way you could do that. So it's important to use the front and the back of a card. I teach to our small businesses. I put a note on there, say, free gift for coming in. If it's a business, a lot of ours are services that we offer, but say, free gifts for coming in and bring a friend or whatever it is. And it doesn't have to be anything expensive. You buy them a notepad at the Dollar Tree. We all love to get a free gift. It doesn't really matter what it was as long as it's free, so we're excited. So just remember that. Another thing I wanted to show you, if you can see, this is our rack card. Now, hope you can see that okay. This is one of our mini rack cards. We have one for every one of our programs, and you can see at the top of this one, it says Business Development and Loan Services. I also have one that says Business Training or Training Classes. But these cards we hand out everywhere. One of the important things that I wanted to show you about this card, make sure if you do something simple, such a rack card, that you put something attractive at the top up here, because if it's in one of those holders somewhere, say at your local city offices, or it could be at your chamber, or in your office, set in a rack. We all have rack cards, but what do? We look across a rack, and then we may see something that catches our eye, so we'll take that card. Now, when I display our rack cards, I don't display them where you're seeing what you do right now, the top of this. I display them so you're seeing this. You're going to pick this up to look at this picture, see if it's something you know, probably. But we have to say, what is that about? So I always turn it around backwards. And we did put the picture at the top, but put something attractive that people are going to grab this card. Make them want to pick it up. You're probably going to pick it up just by going Business Development Loan Services. But if it's on this side, you want to see that picture. And we all like to look at pictures. So we're going to pick it up. We go through these like crazy. These are an inexpensive way to display and put out there about your programs. We actually have made these on every single program. That way, if someone's interested just in an EA, they'll get a card, or maybe they're interested in just our loan services. Maybe they're interested in our consumer loan program. We have one for it. Maybe they're interested in just credit counseling. So we have cards for every one of those. And usually I'm doing a trade show or something, or a business-to-business workshop, or a seminar. I'll take them and lay them out, and I'll say, if they say what they're interested in, I'll hand them one. We also have one that lists everything on it. It's kind of just a generic card, but that way you can give somebody detail what you have to offer, and I think that can be effective. Another idea is press release. I don't know, I hope all of you are doing press releases for your agencies. It's very important to do a press release. It's free, but you want to make sure you do a press release correctly. And I'll tell you, your newspapers will give you a template to buy if you're thinking, yeah, we really need to do a press release, but I don't really know what I'm doing with it. Just remember that it's written in third person, unless you're quoting somebody. If you're writing it in third person, you want to, anytime we get a new grant, or maybe when I became certified as a credit counselor, or got another certification for Core 4, whatever it is, make it sound like a really good story that the reporter's like, hey, that's a good idea. We need to write about it. We'll go into the prisons and teach these classes about starting a business to offenders that are getting ready to be released. They're usually about 6 weeks out from being released. And that's always a catching story reporters like. If I'm going into the prison, or I haven't, I've got a success story to say, yes, we helped them, they're an ex-offender, they come out, we went through all of our counseling, they went through all of our workshops, and they are successfully in business now and have been for a year. Report everything you can to the paper. Send out a press release. Make it between 300 and 500 words. Only, try to make sure you stay on what is true and correct. You don't want to make something up just to get in the paper. So stay on point. then always, and do this at the top of it, put down who the contact information is. Because so many times we have found, call us, if I do a press release, they will call and say, hey, we're talking about your press release and we're going to publish it, but, this is something that we'd like to, ask the news to come and interview you on. So that has been wonderful. And the press releases are important. That's a way to get into the paper free without having to pay all the costs of putting an advertisement in there. I also do it for our workshops. You can write a press release. We're offering this free workshop, to anyone thinking about starting a business, to help boost entrepreneurship and stimulate downtown, help Main Street. You can tie in a lot of that. It also comes in handy when you have these partners that I was talking about and using all your resources available to say, Virginia Main Street's on board or Virginia Tourism's on board with us. And, when you have that, all those partners in there together, they love to write. The press loves to write about that and write about these partnerships. So that's another idea. And I could talk about word of mouth. Word of mouth is like I said at the beginning, more important than ever. It's like word of mouth now is with social media. It's like word of mouth is now on steroids. It can reach people like crazy. Went from, I'm call Aunt Sue and tell her, and she'll call, her friend and tell her, and she'll tell her husband, and he'll tell people at work. I don't like that anymore. Now, everybody communicates by usually electronically. You will have people that if it's something that you want to get the word out, this goes into talking about Facebook or Twitter. Or YouTube, LinkedIn. There's lots of ways to reach. Right now, I think on my friends on Facebook, it's about 1,200. So, anything I post on Facebook goes out to 1,200 people if they look at their Facebook. But, it probably at least reaches 500 or 600. So that's quicker than I could call, and my aunt could call somebody, and you could call somebody. That's what I was saying. It's word of mouth on steroids. It's very, very quick now. So I'd just like to poll the group, and just curiosity, would you tell me, there'll be a poll come up in a few minutes. Let's talk about if you're using social media. Tell that, and if you are, which media platforms do you use? You take a minute or so or a minute and answer those questions. It's interesting to know this. We'll know who all is using a social media platform.
A few last-minute people trying to get in, so we'll see if we can capture those, and then I should be able to display them for you in a moment so we can talk about what we've seen.
Okay. Okay. So I think you all can see the results as well, but most of you said yes. A few said no. It appears that the majority of you are on Facebook, and that's great. Twitter, YouTube, and then LinkedIn seems to be the least. So we're going to talk about some maybe effective ways to use these social medias to help you in getting the word out. And I probably should have defined the question more. You probably are on Facebook personally But under about your agencies or your agencies on Facebook, and that would be another issue that we'll talk about too. So I always promote and tell people to go like our Facebook page. So if you're on Facebook, please like us on Facebook, and you'll find out about stuff coming up, and I'm going to show you some more ideas on that. But here's some ideas. Social media for nonprofits, about liking our page. You learn, one, what supporters are saying about your organization, because people will a lot of times post things on there. You'll also increase your peer-to-peer, and what I mean by that is a lot of times I'll find out what another organization is doing by my Facebook or by our People England, and I'll repost it. If it comes on my personal one, it's something I can help promote that's for the community, I will turn around and post it on our Facebook. You also have a way to, it helps you get word out, because sometimes people are on Facebook and are going to be at, these events that I'm attending to promote us. Or maybe a way that they may come on there and ask you to add you to their email list, because a lot of times I talk about, we send out information about our upcoming workshops, and if you're on our email list, you'll get that. And we'll have people that actually ask us. It also, as it says, enables supporters to distribute messages about your organization. If something's come up, if we win an award, anything like that, we always try to post it on there. And also connect with those supporters. It helps you to build relationships with them. It also will empower your supporters to promote your cause, and that's where I was talking about. We, as a nonprofit group, we have other agencies and other organizations like us, or maybe sister to us, or they don't do the same thing as we do, but we work together in partnership. This will allow them to help promote us, and we also help promote them. So that works out good. It also increases traffic to your website. Now, I'm assuming most of you all have a website. If you have these other social media outlets, would be an interesting thing to know as well if you have a website. And then it's going to increase brand awareness. And what I mean at the bottom, where manage your reputation, some people said, well, I don't really want to be online because I don't want people talking about me. Well, guess what? They're talking about you whether you're online or you're not online. And if you're on there, this is going to help you know what they're saying and be able to put your word out there. If it's a negative comment, you can turn it around to a positive. So that's important. So we have it set up on our a Google alert. If you all have heard of that, and we're going to talk more about that in a minute. Go through this Facebook, and then we'll go back to Google alerts. But talking about Facebook, how many users are on Facebook? This is statistics from 2012. If you will, 845 million monthly active users, 100 billion connections. This is it's unbelievable. And 48% of 18 to 34-year-olds check Facebook right when they wake up. Now, I'm not in that age group. I wish I was in that age group, but I also check Facebook when I wake up in the morning. It's just part of the habit. I get my phone, I turn my alarm off, I kind of look through, see messages I have. I'll look at Facebook. I may post something on Facebook if we're having an event that day. So, think about that, because a lot of people, I guess I'm in that 28% that check Facebook on their smartphones before they get out of bed. I'm guilty of that. But also, I think it's great because a lot of times I will see what other organizations have planned for that day, and it may be an event that I want to go to. Sometimes there's somebody coming to town I didn't know was going to be here. And so that happened actually a few weeks ago. I had received an invitation to, it was a announcement that Lieutenant Governor Bowling in Virginia was coming to announce, and I'd actually put it on the back burner and meant to RSVP and say I would come, and kind of forgot about it. And the morning that he was coming, I woke up, got my smartphone, was looking, and read where another person that's one of our partners actually had posted about this big announcement coming. And I was like, oh yeah, so that reminded me, so I dressed appropriately so I'd be able to go to that. Then if you come down, if you look at the amount of active Facebook users, that makes it approximately 1 in every 13 people on Earth. So it could be, a lot of people have said, well, it's not really the older generation. Well, that's not true. I know I've been teaching, my parents are in their late 70s, and they love Facebook. And they don't want their own, they use mine. So I've said, you can't post anything or don't like anything because that's my name on there. But they just really want to see their grandchildren and see what they're doing. So, I disagree with people who say the older people really don't do it. I think they do. Our page for People Incorporated. And you can see right here where I put promote events. And this is how we do it. We'll put a workshop up there and say, register now for a workshop. This one was up in Shenandoah County. So you can come down and see there was another one, register now for business basics. And even though this is kind of dated now because we just screen captured this when we were creating other presentations, I just still use this one because it shows the ways that we promoted. Then you can see up here in the pictures, this is Heartwood was actually being constructed. And it's our artisan gateway that was built here that turned out unbelievably wonderful. But you can see we keep people up to date when you can see all the hard hats and the senators and different people that were here for the groundbreaking. But we just kept people up to date on that. And come over here to the left side. At the time, we had 320 people that liked our page. And I imagine now that it's quite larger than that because I always ask people to go and like our page when they're on Facebook. But, we also like pages. When you create this page, you're creating a business page rather than a page for yourself like you would your personal page. This is totally separate. And we like groups, and you can see the Crooked Road, the Chamber of Commerce, and there's 3 Chamber of Commerce, Abingdon, different people on here. But these are all people that can help us, get messages out there. So maybe we don't reach all of them in our other networks. If we post it on here, and this, say, for instance, this Woodstock Chamber, maybe they're not a sponsor of this workshop, so they go here and look at it and go, oh, we need to get the word out about this or see if we can be a sponsor. It really is helpful in promoting the events. Just another example. You see up here where you can like the page. This is a farmer's market we have here in Abingdon. I think it's neat how they post things on their wall. Here's what they said. This is one of our vendors at the Abingdon Farmers Market. It tells, check them out. And it's got where you can check their website. And it has, other people over here that are likes. That's another partner of ours around the mountain right there. So if you network with all of these other organizations, it works out to your benefit. How are pages different than groups? Pages can only be created to represent a business or organization like us. That's the only way you can do a page. And you have to be an official representative. People just can't create a page on People Incorporated or whatever. As far as groups, that's something different. You may create a small group on Facebook that the stuff that you all post between that group is only between you. And we have a few like that we'll partner with on workshops, and we'll actually create a little group to promote it, where we talk share that information amongst ourselves in that. And thinking about the mobile apps, and this is just showing you the fastest growing mobile app categories as far as what people have on their phones. And you can see social networking is 240%. And so that's the largest one. So what it's telling you is our consumers are mobile. A lot of people are mobile. Even people that you're thinking, well, my clients aren't mobile. More than likely they are mobile. With 240%, that's pretty large. What I want to talk about is Twitter. I wish I could do that little tweeting sound, but I can't. But you know, a lot of you have said about a survey that you are on Twitter, and I know the Action Partnership, they're also on Twitter as well, and I always get their tweets if they have something upcoming, and I think it's important to be on Twitter. You can see here that most what social networks small businesses are using, and a lot of times small businesses are the ones I'm targeting. 78% on Twitter, 75% on Facebook, 30% on LinkedIn. So you'll find that a lot of the small businesses are using Twitter. This is about doesn't drive traffic. So you've got to figure out the average number of clicks and what people that you're dealing with, what are they looking at more? Do people click Facebook, you know, as far as the links more or more from Twitter? And you know, there's a new one out there called Pinterest, and I don't know how many of you all have actually been working with it, but right now, and I need to update my slides next time I do this. Right now, Pinterest is beating Facebook on connections, on links. Like if you see something on Pinterest you like and connect to someone's website from it on links, they are actually now above Facebook, so they would be up here, and then Facebook, and then Twitter. The next one is LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is another one that I use, and I'm going to kind of go through this one kind of quickly, but LinkedIn is all professional. You don't put your personal stuff on there. LinkedIn is another one we use to promote workshops mainly. It's like having your personal resume online, but it's a good resource for me and a good way for me to promote workshops. But you can see some of the groups that I have joined on here, and it's people that, you know, have the same interests that I do, or maybe in the same network that I'm interested in joining. That way, if I'm a member of their group, they're going to get information about my workshops, and I'm going to find out information about their programs as well. So it's important as a part of LinkedIn. LinkedIn is not a company, like I don't join that as People Link. Mine is Becky Nave on LinkedIn. I'm a part of these groups, so when I do post things, or you can start conversations. Maybe you're looking at another funding source or trying to figure a way to make something work. You start a conversation, you know, within these groups with other companies, other people who work for other companies that you can work with, and that's helpful. YouTube, that's the one that I use often. YouTube is so easy, and people forget about it. We watch a lot of videos. I guarantee if I ask you all right now, most of you would say, I watch a video. But YouTube is another one. You can take and make your own little video, and you probably recognize the little baby there. But you can, Justin Bieber. This is a guy who, a taxidermy that is really neat, who started a YouTube video and now has millions of hits on there. It's crazy. But this can help you in driving traffic to your website. It can, depending on what you do, and I thought this was interesting because I look up simple solutions for things. And here's one, gardening tips. This I came up with, and it says, how can I get rid of weeds? And so she tells you. So it could be as simple as, there's an animal shelter commercial, or here's another one that we showed this one with the artisans that we work with, creating a simple rain duck. It's easy. Something very, very simple. It doesn't take long to create. You want to be yourself in it, and we write our own little commercials ourselves, and we'll put them on there. And we have a People Inc. channel that we use. And if you'll see this little camera right here, if you're familiar with the little flip camera, it is wonderful. It comes with built-in software, and all you do is flip the side of it right here, and it has a little USB, and you plug it straight into your computer, and you don't have to download anything. It automatically will download it to your computer because software is built in the camera. So it's not it's not something you have to install. So it's really convenient. And so you just have this flip camera video of our classes to give people a taste of what our workshops are like, and you create a channel. You can create, and you can see by this how easy it is. Upload the videos into YouTube, and then you can automatically want to share yours through these news feeds and click which one you want. This is one of our other trainers here at People Incorporated doing a workshop. And one of the things we always say, this is our social media workshop that we offer, and you can see she's in the computer lab showing people how to sign up on social media. But you can see right there it says Social Media Workshop is the title, description. Then here, this is the important part I wanted to point out. You want to tag it so people will know how to, if they look up something, or maybe just punch in a name. Maybe they just punch in People Inc. or anything they punch in with any of it in there. These tags will help draw them to your video. We've talked about a few things on electronic marketing, but the next question I have is how Googled when's the last time you searched for your company? Just put your company's name on Google and searched it. You'd be surprised what comes up. This is talking about earlier about looking at Google alerts, and signing up. I signed up to where when I have Google alerts, I can People Incorporated. So now anything with People Incorporated, I get an alert that it's out there. You'd be surprised. If you show up in another newspaper somewhere or whatever it is, it'll let you know that your name has shown up somewhere. So I do my name, I do People Inc. There's a lot of things I do that allow me to see Google alerts on. So that's something you should do as well. Website. I'm assuming most of you have a website, but some don't really need a website, or what do I do? Why do I need a website? Well, if you remember in the beginning, I said that I believe it's 79% of adults are online. They use the internet. So, why would you not want to be out there for them to find you? You want your image out there. You want to have a face for your company. It's also going to help you in building your database of users and client names. And sometimes I say to folks when they ask me, and maybe I don't have a lot of time to spend with them, I'm like, go to our website, go to peopleinc.net and check us out. We've got testimonial videos on there. We've got a little piece on each one of our programs on there. But it will give you a better idea of what we do. Because they'll say sometimes, what do you do? What does People Incorporated do? So that's important. This is a website. Again, you saw Facebook earlier for this little Abingdon Farmers Market, our website. And the things I wanted to point out here is, if you look right here, they're asking for contact info on their website. That's important because you get their email address. Set for weekly updates. Very smart to do. We don't do that on ours, and I think that would be good to do because I could then capture those email addresses. And it's as simple as putting it on your website. You also want to ask them to follow you on Facebook, follow you on Twitter, find us on Facebook, and then follow us on Twitter. That's also another little, you can launch right here. So hopefully that's going to help you draw in more people. And we've been added it on our brochures at the bottom. It will say right here, it says follow us on Facebook. Where that you can put that plug in to get the word out and continue. It's important. Okay. So one of the last things I want to go over is make a marketing calendar. This is very important. This will allow you to schedule things. I have a calendar for a year out, and I am not big on scheduling things past about 6 months, but I've been forced to do so. I've already got workshops planned for next spring. So it's important because that way you'll avoid missing opportunities. You'll also know which direction you're going, and can start promoting it early, Or if there's some big announcement you're going to have, start promoting it. In the spring, we're really going to push this department, or in the fall, we're really going to push this. You must pick different departments at different times. Set you up a marketing calendar. It's very important. So what else is there? You've also got the atmosphere you create for your clients. You've got customer service. That's important. What the customer's perception of you, the quality work you do. So gather your research for your company. Put together, and this presentation is actually be available for you all as the previous ones have. So you'll be able to read more in depth on some of these things. Where do you do your research? You can do it on the internet. You can get studies from colleges, collected information, local, state, federal organizations or businesses similar to yours. Those are good resource information. Also, remember that you need to always, there's something you can learn about your business, something you can learn about your client. Constantly try to listen. That's the biggest thing. Listen and learn from everybody. Because if you learn everything you can and learn to keep your customers satisfied, things are going to turn around, and more people, the word of mouth about you is going to be good, and more people are going to continue coming in. This just goes over some statistics that I'm not going to go into. We're starting to run down on time. The one thing is, make sure you have your phone number and website on your website, and every information on all your ads, whether it's the rec card, the business card, whatever it is. There's nothing worse than getting information about an organization and you cannot find their phone number, or you cannot find how to contact them. And you'll be surprised how many people leave this information off. Okay. Also, be consistent with your color scheme and your message and your branding. Always be consistent with that. Don't change it around. You want something that people's going to recognize. Don't think that you have to spend a ton of money, again, on advertising. I don't have a ton of money to use on advertising. So do work on a shoestring budget. So you want to make sure that you don't put all your eggs in one basket and spend all your money on a newspaper ad. And don't be afraid to stand out in the crowd. Don't be afraid to be that one at the meeting that stands up to talk about opportunities that are available. We're not going to go into detail on this because we're kind of pressed for time. But the one thing I will say is make sure you are marketing to the right demographics and figure out the best way to reach. There's you and there's your client. Who you're trying to reach and the best way for you to reach them. Sometimes our employees help spread the words about our programs better than anybody. So that's another idea. Community involvement, we volunteer a lot. One of the quick things I'll tell you real quickly is we had a really bad tornado here that wiped out one of our communities, and we here at People Inc. spent about a week going out and helping those folks sort through things and just volunteer our time. We all signed up and It's really important because they remember that. They may not remember that I was there, but they remember People Inc. helped, okay? So volunteering can help build those relationships and strengthen them with your community and corporate leaders. We're not going to have time to go into all this, but remember that first impressions mean a lot. Words, people hear 7%, your tone of voice, 38%, but your body language, 55%. Remember that 93% of a person's opinion of you has nothing to do with what you say. So think of that and remember that you're always a face for your company. And always have your elevator pitch ready to tell someone about you. Because you know, whether it's stand up at a meeting or you meet somebody in the elevator for a minute, you will be able to talk to people. And ask them for referrals. Ask people to give you testimonies. If you go to our website, you will see that you will have testimonials. And that's important. People like to hear people talking about it rather than you lecturing about it. They want to hear people that's experienced it, okay? Encourage word of mouth because with good customer service, like I said, it's like steroids now. It's going to be online. If people are talking good about you, you want them to put something on your Facebook. And you want to also boost customer service within your employees. There's internal customer service and there's external customer service. That's another important one. You want to also you can do surveys with your clients and make sure that your employees are treating your customers like they should be treated. You don't want that one bad egg in the bunch can make the whole basket rotten. So you want to make sure that you hire the right people and have good employees. Okay, well, I know I had to run through the last little part of it, but I hope you're ready to promote your business, your organization, or cause. And I gave you some effective tips that maybe you could use. We're going to take just a couple minutes. I think we have a few questions opened up. But remember, you've got to find that niche. There's no magic 8 ball that's going to tell you what you need to do as far as marketing because we're all different. We're all on the same mission in a way, but we all have so many different communities that we're working with. And so you've got to find that niche and keep trying to find what works for your organization, okay? So we're going to cash in and take any questions.
Well, just a reminder, you are welcome to continue to type those in. We'll take as many as we can. First, we have statistically, what is the most effective form of advertising dollar for dollar, taking into account staff time as a cost as well?
What is the most, could you repeat, I'm sorry?
Or it can. Statistically, what is the most effective form of advertising dollar for dollar, taking into account staff time as a cost?
I would think, and this is me, statistically, it's going to come the highest using social media. Social media, you could have one staff person updating those, spending, and the way we talk about it is in the morning when we come in, that's when we date and we promote things. And it takes about 5-10 minutes of your time, once you get a little pattern down, to actually go in and promote something. You put something out there every day on Facebook or a social media outlet, but you want to at least once a week. So statistically, I don't know a percentage to tell you, but I will tell you as far as with us and what works here is the social media. And it would be the highest that we work with, the highest percentage as far as outcome and our employees' time that we spend on it.
Thanks. Another, what is a reasonable marketing budget based on agency budget, such 1 or 5%, and what kind of budget do you have for marketing?
Oh, well, I'll be honest with you. I have $0 for marketing. Now, as far as agency, there may be some in another department that they have for marketing, but I don't have any, say, budgeted money for marketing. As why I've had to be very creative, and I've been trying to help you all with tips today. We do, of course, have money that we printed our rack cards. We printed business cards. I have, and it took me, we joke about it, but it took me about 2 years to get. We've got a very nice table cover. So when we go set up at these showcases or conferences or something, we have a nice table cover to lay our printing materials on. But as far as money to spend on, and to give you a percentage, I'll say that our department probably spends no more than 5% on, and when I say marketing, I mean as far as our printing materials and what we have to spend. We recently got a really good deal from one of our entrepreneurs, these little water bottles with our imprint on them and our label on them, and they were so inexpensive. I was like, even if I have to pay for them myself, I want to get them to help promote. But we were able to get it very inexpensively for our agency, and that's been another effective tool that we've used. But as far as telling you exactly what our budget is, and we say we've got, $50,000 to spend for 2 years on marketing, don't have that. So we have to be very creative in our marketing.
Oh, thank you. Well, to try to respect people's time, we're going to go ahead and wrap up there. If you have additional questions, please do go ahead and forward them. You can forward them to Becky herself. Her information is up on your screen now. You can focus them to Linda Hembry, and she will get them moved on. You can send them to me, Cashin Yu. It's CYU@CommunityActionPartnership.com. If the above will work, and we will get your questions answered. So, Becky, any final words as we let them go?
I appreciate all of you all attending today. And if you have any questions, or if there's something maybe I didn't answer today, and the ones who had questions, please let me know. My email address is on the screen. Or if you need help in marketing and have, a community that you're working with, you're trying to figure out, or a service you're trying to figure out how to get the word out about the program, please let me know. Maybe we can help you.
Well, thank you again, everyone, for joining us. We hope to see many of you in New York City for the Partnerships Conference later this month, August 19th through the 22nd. And that's it for today.
Okay, great. Thank you.